Here at the AnomicAge, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the AnomicAge,
Salon Rio and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the JohnAge Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the AnomicAge. I am your host, JohnAge, coming at you in the dark side of the AM. Sitting at 3:46 Eastern Standard Time, hailing proudly from the coastal plains of the Old North State. I will be your tour guide this evening as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet, a forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global satanic death cult of pedophiles. Check out AnomicAge.com. If you've not already done so, please like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions, paypal.me/AnomicAge, patreon.com/AnomicAge as well. If you can do no more, just share the show if you can. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, my goodness gracious, folks. It's been a day. I doubt anyone was tuning into this live segment earlier today. I had a guest on, and to be completely frank with you, I wasn't happy about a doggone bit of it. No shade thrown at the guest here. It's really just the product was not what it should have been, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm not even going to put out the video format because it was just dreadful. Those of you who followed the podcast and check it out at AnomicAge.com, you will be seeing the MP3 version, the regular old school version of that coming out. But really, man, I'm not happy with anything about that show. I'm just not. I'll just leave it at that. Again, no shade whatsoever towards our guest. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's one of those things, I feel like I'm just continuing our conversation here. Don't worry, we'll get into the realness in a little bit, but it's one of those things that it's been an extremely rough couple years. So many things on the personal front I'm just not sharing on the show. That's how it goes. And one of those things that I thought I was up and running and ready to go with guests again, and it just wasn't ready to go. You know, a lot of that I will bear the brunt of on my end as far as the technology and not having a paid version of this, that, or the other. But at the end of the day, I'm just I don't know. I don't know if we're ready to go with guests again or not. And I don't know if I even want to go with guests again or not, to be quite honest with you. I really enjoy this kind of private, intimate conversation, one-on-one kind of deal. Any format I want to take it into, be it a short show like I've been running about 20 minutes, or a longer show like the old school, I've even done some multi-hour shows before, but I got no problem with running a little over the 30 minutes into an hour mark is what I'm trying to say. But end of the day, just was not pleased at that at all. Not going to put it out, I don't believe, except for the audio format. And I'll just leave it at that. That ain't why you came here. You didn't want to come here. Listen to me bloviate about how unhappy I was with today's product. So in the end, I'll just skip ahead and we'll move into what I actually want to talk about this evening. Title of tonight's episode, Information Breakdown Segment. I can't believe it myself, but we're all the way up to 464 in the Information Breakdown variety. Shout out to those people out there on the YouTube. And where are we at on the Facebook? If you're new to the game on the YouTube, please be aware that this ain't where you can find that program. You might see a little bit on there, but go to AnomicAge.com. Tonight's episode, never question our greatest ally. Nunca pregunta our greatest ally. Never question them. They are the greatest thing in the world. I really want to talk about this thing. Let's put it on the big screen for you. This came out at 6/18/25. NetworkContagion.us. False flags and fake MAGA. How foreign and inauthentic networks use fake speech to destabilize the right from within. So that's the newest deal. Let me give you a little short and concise. Now the new talking point is, since Trump allegedly bombed these nuclear sites, which have pretty much turned out to be tantamount to nothing, then we had the admitted, just to sort of save face, strikes on some U.S. regions that turned out to be a nothing. You know, so we got Trump over there. We're going to send the big bombers in, the bunker busters and all that. We're going to take out their nuke sites because they'd be dumb enough to just leave them right where we knew they'd be, right? Yeah. And then we had the turnaround from Iran going, oh, we're going to get you too. I mean, it's like some orchestrated wrestling event. That's really what this is boiling down to. It's like a wrestling event. It's the Iron Sheik versus Hulk Hogan, you know, his first big run in the early 80s. Iron Sheik versus Hulk Hogan. You know, oh, he didn't see this one coming. Drop the elbow. Oh, he didn't see the, clothesline. Oh, camel clutch or whatever. It was just, oh my goodness. People that believe this, I don't know what to say. I really just don't. But, so we had that retaliatory event. And then Trump comes out today, or excuse me, I guess this was yesterday. I'm sorry. He came out yesterday and announces, we're going to do a ceasefire. Oh, it's going to be a ceasefire. And before the ceasefire can hardly be announced, we got Israel attacking Iran again. You know, it's, oh boy. And then they have to pimp slap them back. You know, I mean, it's just the lamest thing in the world, folks. If you're really not hip to this, it's really silly. So we went from about 72 hours ago being on the precipice of a nuclear war to then throw some bombs at them, and now everybody shuts up. Oh, we got a ceasefire, but not so fast because, Israel sneaks in with a chair and throws one at them again. And it's just plain silly, I gotta say. So I guess the exhale is, maybe we're not going to nuclear war yet. But again, followed by the big inhale. Oh, ceasefire. Oh, not so fast. Israel's doing what they always do. You know, bombing people with our munitions and our consent and our taxpayer dollars. $3.8 billion a year funded by yours truly and the U.S. citizenry that actually pays taxes. Yeah. So we got all that, all the knowns that I've covered in the last few episodes. But never question our greatest ally, because once again, we put this on screen. This is basically giving you the rundown of don't believe those people that are saying false flags are imminent. Oh, those people are trying to divide MAGA. Those people are dividing MAGA. Those people aren't real Trump supporters. No, no, no. And this harkens back immediately, for me at least, to the false flag of all false flags, 9/11, where old Georgie Porgy Bush and Pie was saying, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. drawing this proverbial line in the sand. Like anyone that questions us going into Iraq for these weapons of mass destruction snipe hunt, if you dare to question, then you ain't listening to Toby Keith putting a boot in there, you know. You ain't flying your American flag. You ain't got your American flag pin. You know, all this is, I've discussed it so many times on the show, but all this moment of communitas, we're all together for that brief moment in time. So if you are not properly buying the propaganda, then you ain't American. That's kind of what this is saying. So if you are saying that the false flags that are coming are actually false flags and not Iran coming to get us, if you dare to question the upcoming false flags of Iran attacking us domestically, question anything of the orthodoxy of Israel, question anything of the orthodoxy of our greatest ally, question anything of the orthodoxy of we've got to defend Israel at all costs. After all, you ain't a Christian if you don't defend Israel. So if you dare to question any of the aforementioned and even more, then you ain't real MAGA. It's akin to old Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I mean, this is the same sort of BS, except this is now promulgated by the neocons and folks like Mark Levin, Charlie Kirk. I mean, fill in the blank of your favorite neocon, Laura Loomer, anybody on the Fox News bandwagon. You know, you ain't with us, you're with the terrorists. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Again, want to roll it back some more? If you don't support the Vietnam War, you're a red. You're a commie if you ain't into Vietnam, man. And this is the history that they don't tell you. But this has historically been true of every conflict. By conflict, I mean war. Because after all, we haven't officially been in a war since World War II. Everything else has just been a conflict. It's a freedom episode. We're just spreading democracy. We got freedom fries for you. Remember, they're not French fries anymore. They're freedom fries. So this has always been the case. Anyone that questioned the Civil War, anyone that questioned World War I, anyone that questioned World War II, anyone that questioned Vietnam, Korea, and on down the line, they always pigeonholed you into, you're just not man enough to die for Israel. You're just not man enough to die in these bankers' wars. I mean, this has been known information since the War is a Racket book, folks. Way back when. Remember Smedley Butler, War is a Racket? Because he didn't want to go overthrow the government for the commies. He didn't want to go back to war for the fruit company in Central and South America. No, he didn't want to do that. So then he was blackballed too. He was smeared. I guess now he wouldn't be MAGA because he chooses to not want to go fight for Israel. And I guess even Trump now is not going to be MAGA because today he went out there and dropped the F-bomb. Woo! Because he said Israel and Iran don't know what they're bleeping doing. He's kindly finally catching on to the nonsense, maybe. Or maybe this is all a big charade too. Who the freak knows? I'm just laying out for you, folks. This ain't nothing new. Nothing new under the sun, says Solomon. Nothing new under the sun, says JohnAge. This is old hat. This is the same old song, same old song. I mean, this kind of obvious propaganda and gaslighting. Incidentally, that's where the majority of the graphic came from that you're seeing there. That's courtesy of yours truly as well, this great graphic design work. But yeah, that came from the 1940 film Gaslight, which is just that. It was about a husband trying to convince the wife that she was crazy. Oh no, you didn't just leave this book out here. What do you mean you're missing this book? It's been here all along. What do you mean there's someone calling you? This phone never rang. Blatant gaslighting, lying to someone to their face and trying to convince them they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And this is finally a term that's getting in vogue in the mainstream populace right about now. And it's about flipping time, because this is what's been going on for a long time. Buy into the orthodoxy, buy into the groupthink, or you're just not part of the cool kids club anymore. I mean, this was, again, church committee hearings 50 years ago plus at this point revealed that the CIA, Operation Mockingbird, has been pulling the strings since what, 1948? And probably in the OSS before that. But somehow, people in 2025 do not believe that that's going on still in the alternative markets. No, couldn't be, could it? It couldn't be that all these big alternative media conglomerates that just popped up overnight, where'd they get this funding from? How do they magically all have the talking points? The talking point of the day in the last 24 hours, you're going to divide MAGA. You're dividing the movement. Don't you divide MAGA? You're not really MAGA. That's the same old. You're not man enough to die in Vietnam. Sorry, why would you want to go die in a false flag predicated war so you can just, increase the opium trade? And why? Why would you want to do that exactly? Why exactly would you want to go do the snipe hunt for weapons of mass destruction after the 9/11 false flag? Why would you want to do that exactly? Questioning the manhood of people that just have the audacity to call BS on what is clearly Bravo Sierra? Hey, if that's not manly, then sign me up. Huh? Sign me up for the non-manly brigade. Because that's exactly what's going on. And no, that doesn't make me leftist, commie, or a hippie. That just means I'm calling BS where BS is obvious. There's no picking up a turd by the clean end, folks. There's no tiptoeing through the tulips around the obvious blatant lies by the aforementioned Mark Levin, Charlie Kirk. Oh, you've got to stop. No, don't stop. No. We got to keep going. We got to finish them off, folks. That wasn't enough, Trump, baby. We got to really get in there, Those bombs weren't nearly what we wanted, We're Israel, our greatest ally. We got to wipe all their foes off the map. After all, it was in the PNAC documents. Remember, I covered that last night. Iran, Iraq, Syria. We got to wipe them all out for our greatest ally. I mean, $3.8 billion a year ain't enough. We got to take it all out. We want the whole Middle East to be Israel. After all, they're our greatest ally, right? We got to buy into that. We got to buy into it. Sip the Kool-Aid, folks. Jim Jones ain't got nothing on the people peddling this kind of bull. And they get people on the different demographics. They get people, all por los niños, oh, pobrecitos, por the children. It's all the children. That's for the folks that are atheists. It's the children. Don't you have a heart? And then for the Christians, it's God. It's Jesus. He said Israel. You just gotta embrace the bombs as we drop them to and fro and anywhere we happen to go. We're spreading democracy. That's the other big LARP for the commie types, for the leftists. We got to spread democracy. We're spreading democracy. You don't want to spread democracy? You're some kind of fruitcake? Never question our greatest ally. Never, ever question. So that's the deal, really, folks. You can't question the orthodoxy of the cult. A couple of days ago, you couldn't question the orthodoxy of the Trump cult because he was dropping bombs. And now if you do question the orthodoxy of Trump, who's actually questioning the orthodoxy now, then you're not Trump enough. You see how that works? I don't either. It just seems like complete lunacy to me. But that's the big pill they're wanting you to swallow, folks. Call me crazy, but peace is actually what we're seeking, not more war. Call me crazy, but I do buy into the no more foreign entanglements George Washington shtick. Call me crazy, but I believe questioning your elected officials is what you're supposed to do. It's part of that checks and balances thing, you know? It's what it's all about. It's all about questioning elected officials when they're making the wrong move and voicing your opinion. Because although it's obviously not accurate, because all these different polls, I think even Charlie Kirk had a poll up there with 90 plus people in 2 different polls he put up there was saying, you know, we don't want this war. We don't want any part of it. And that was the Trump base. Ooh, they're dividing the base. Oh my. No, what they're doing is gaslighting you 6 ways from Sunday all across social media. Because what I've been seeing in the last 72 hours on social media is just this barrage of exuberant patriotism. And everybody's got their chest out. And, oh, we got the bombers, Bo. They can't take us. This ridiculous, neocon LARPing of right wing is right and right. What's that other bunch of baloney? Might makes right kind of nonsense. But they weren't showing you the apparently quite obvious large percentage, over 90% of the base, that's going, you know what? This ain't our gig, folks. Let's not be a part of this at all. They were dividing the base because they were convincing Trump to go on this snipe hunt, take 2, instead of weapons of mass destruction. Now we're looking for nukes. We're looking for nukes again. I mean, it's just Groundhog Day, folks. Call me crazy. Is it not 2021 all over again? If you're not with us, you're with the terrorists. If you're not with Trump, you're not a real Trumpster. You're not really Trump, you're fake MAGA. Weapons of mass destruction, nukes. Iran, Iraq. And now they got the same old song, same old song. If you're questioning orthodoxy, you ain't with us, you with the terrorists. And people often forget this whole thing for this groupthink happened every war, and it also happened after the JFK assassination. Remember? CIA popularizing the term conspiracy theorist because there was people out there questioning the orthodoxy of the prescribed, sanitized for your protection version of the JFK assassination. You see, it was up there, it was a grassy knoll. No, you were mistaken. Up there, it was the book depository. It wasn't the grassy knoll. It wasn't anything from the drainage area. No, it wasn't a confluence of several shots. No, that was an echo. You're mistaken. What are you, some kind of conspiracy theorist? What are you, not patriotic? You ain't into the truth that it was this lone gunman that we just so happened to snuff out? And then the shooter of the guy that allegedly did the shooting also dies immediately from cancer? Oh, my gracious goodness sakes, laugh, folks. It just never ends, does it? So, once again, folks, never question our greatest ally or you just ain't American. I, in turn, would suggest heavily that you abso-smurfly question our greatest ally. I think you should question anybody telling you not to question anything. From the right, from the left, from your favorite alternative pundit. You know, the Gadsden flag in the back and the big wood-carved, burned on the edges American flag, and they got a little buffness to them, and they're wearing their tight shirts and everything. Yeah, and they got a beard usually. That kind of deal. And they've got like a 6-person studio and all this amazing equipment that just kind of showed up overnight. And out of nowhere, they've got millions of followers and they're on every platform. And oh my goodness, where'd they come from? I don't know. But they showed up a couple years ago, and they always tell us the truth. They tell us not to question our greatest ally. So, about all I got to say for this night. You can't do everything, but you can do something, folks. You should absolutely start questioning the answers just a little bit, don't you think? You should probably start getting ready for something coming down that you might not expect because it ain't even hot out yet. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part, make a difference. I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the AnomicAge.
Thank you for listening to the AnomicAge, a JohnAge project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to AnomicAge.com. That's AnomicAge.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to the AnomicAge.